Here in the workspace, we have the basic HTML structure here. We have links to HTML file to the CSS file, and we have a title of landing page. We have a folder images which contains our video image and a HTML file and a CSS file. Now, here in the body tag in the HTML, the first thing we do, we create a header tag. Within it, we insert a nav tag. Within the nav tag, we insert a logo. And the logo is going to be a text of Code.Dev Academy. We highlight the Academy in a span. Now, below the ending tag of the logo, we create an other list items. We give the first list items to have a text of home, and we duplicate it several times. We change the second list item to a text of about, the third to the text of service, and the fourth list item to a text of help. Below the on other list items, we create another div with a class name of btn, which is going to hold our buttons. The first button is going to have a text of sign in. We copy it and duplicate it. The second button is going to have a text of sign out. Now, this is actually what we're having from the browser. Now, in the CSS file, the first thing we do, we give our universal styling of a margin of 0, padding of 0, and a box sizing to be border box. Now, we give the font family to be System UI. We target the HTML tag and give it a font size of 62.5%. The reason doing this is because it's going to change for each 1 M or 1 REM, it's going to be equal to 10 pixels, which will make the calculation much more easier when it comes to responsive design. Target the body tag and give it a background color of black. Anything that overflows out of the body, we make it to be hidden. For the header tag, we make it to have a position of fixed because we want it to be fixed in the top. So we give it a top of 0, a left of 0, and we make the weight to take up full weight of the body, which is 100%. We make it to be above everything with a Z index of 99. We target the header and give it a padding. A padding of 10 pixels space from the top and bottom and 25 pixels space from the left and right. We make all items in the nav to be display of flex. We align them in the center and give a justify contents to be space between. From the browser, this is actually what we're having here. The logo, list items, and the 2 buttons. In the CSS, we target the logo and give it a font size. And we adjust it to 1.6 rem. We give it a font weight to be bold. Set the color of the logo to white. We target the highlighted text, which is Academy, and change the color to red. This is actually what we're having from the logo. We target the list items. For the UL, we make it to be display of flex. We give a gap between the items of 1 rem. We insert padding to the list items of 12 pixels space from the top and bottom and 25 pixels space from the left and right. We make the edges of the UL to be curved with a 1.6 rem and give it a box shadow of 5 pixel blurred with a gray color. For now, this is what we're having here. We go back again. We target the LI. We make the list style to be none, which will take out the punches. We target the items itself. We make the text decoration of none. We give the font size of the list items to be 1.6 rem, a font weight of 600 with a color of white. We insert padding to the list items with a 8 pixel space from top and bottom and 20 pixel space from the left and right. We give it a border radius of 1.6 rem, which makes the edges to be curved. When we do that, now this is actually what we're having. Heading back to the CSS. Now we target the list items and give it a hover. When you hover on the text, we make the color of the text to be gray. For the first list item, we give it a class name of active. We target the active and give it a different background color, which is red. Now this is actually what we're having here. Hey, if you have been trying to learn web development but HTML and CSS keep confusing you, then this is for you. I have put together a complete HTML and CSS course that takes you from zero to building a real website step by step. No boring theories, just projects and clear explanation. Some of the insight you will get from this course, you're going to have a clear lesson that breaks everything down for you. You're also going to work with real projects that you can actually add to your portfolio. Not just that, you're going to get tips and best practice that pro developers use. And one of the best part is you're going to get access to Code.Dev Academy Discord community, which you're going to use it to get help whenever you're stuck. So if you've been looking for one place that gives you everything to master HTML and CSS with confidence, then this course is that package. Start learning today and keep building from here. The link is in the description box. We target the two buttons in the nav, giving them a padding of 10 pixels space from top and bottom and 30 from the left and right. Background color of the button to be transparent, and edges of the button to be curved with a 1 EM. Imagine from each button from the left to be 10 pixels, and we give each button to have a background color of 7 pixel blood with a gray color. When you hover, we want the cursor to be pointer. We take out the borders with a border of none. Now, this is what we have in for now. Target now the items, the text in the button. We give it a font size of 1.4 em and a font width to be bold. We take out the underline using text decoration of none, and we insert the color of the text to be white. When you hover on the button, we make the box shadow to have a 1 pixel with a 20 pixel blood and a white color. For now, this is what we have, but we are going to adjust it later on the video. Now, below the header tag, we create a main. We give the main to have a class name of hero. First, we insert a h1 in the main, a text of shop Yacht. We create a cinema, which is going to hold our video. First, now we target the h1. We give it a max weight of 1200 pixels with a weight of 99%, 95% of the body. We give it a minimum height of 100 dvh with a margin top of 0 and the left and right to be auto, which is going to adjust the hero div in the middle. We give it a display of flex align items off center with a flex direction to be column, which is going to make the text and the image to stack in a column direction. Now, we target the h1. We make the margin of the top to be 1.5 rem and all side left, right, and bottom to be 0. We make the font size to be 10 rem and a font width, we make it to be 800. We give the fonts family to be Arial and the color of the text to be black. Now this is where the magic happens, the text shadow. We're going to insert several text shadows on the text. The first one here is going to be 00 with a 20 pixels and so on to all the 4 text shadows. When we do that now, this is actually the result we just had. Now we're going to target the cinema, which is the body going to hold our video. We give it a width of 90%, a minimum width of 340 pixels, a margin from the top to left, from the top and bottom to be 0, left and right to be auto. We make the edges to be curved with a 1em and a position of relative. Anything that overflows out of the cinema container, we make it to be hidden and give it a background color of white. Now, this is where we're going to insert the video. We insert a video tag, autoplay to start automatically, loop to repeat itself, muted. We don't want sound, so we're going to mute it with a play inline. Then we're going to give it a class name, which is video BG. Now, within the video tag, we're going to insert a source tag, and we're going to insert our video. When we do that, now this is actually what we're having here. Back in the CSS, we target the video.bg. Since the cinema is position of relative, we make it to be position now to be absolute. We make the top to be 0, the bottom to be 0. We give it a border radius because the edges to be curved. We want the edges to be curved of 1em. Now, take note of this part. We're going to give the video to have a media query, which we're going to say at minimum aspect ratio of 16:9, we're going to make the video.bg to have a weight of 100% and a height of 02. We create another media query again. We're going to see at maximum aspect ratio of 16:9. Now we're going to make the width of the video.bg to be auto and the height now to be 100%, which is completely opposite of the first one. Having that, this is what we're having now. Now, back to the HTML. We're going to create another div again with the name of last page. We're going to create another div within it with the name of .items. And first, we're going to insert a span with text of Yacht. We're going to duplicate it multiple times, each span with a different text. Now, we target this last page div in our CSS. We give it a position of absolute. We give a space from the bottom to be 10 pixels. We make the width of it to be 100% and a padding to be 0 from the top and bottom and 20 pixels from the left and right. Now we'll target the items. We give it a background color of white, a border radius to be 1.3 rem with a display of flex, align items off center with a justify content to be space between. We make the max width of it to be 100%. Now, this is where we're going to target each of the text. We make each text to have a font size of 1.1 rem, a font width of 700, and a padding of 10 pixels space from the top and bottom and 20 from the left and right. A cursor is going to be a pointer with a flex of 1. So when it shrinks and grows, it's going to go with the same width. This is actually what we're having for now. Heading back to the CSS, now we're going to target now the first item. So we're going to use endStyle number 1. We change the background color to red with a border radius of 5 pixels. Now this is what we're having here. Having that, this is all I have for you for today's video. If you've enjoyed it, check out the video appearing now. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel for future updates on web development. And check out the video appearing on the screen and let the journey continue on the next section.